Hello. Let's see if this is working. Hello, hello. Just need to take a second to make sure that this is actually working. It may be, it may not be. It's my first time using OBS to stream, which is like a streaming program, so I just need to make sure everything's going well. Hello there. So what today is all about is I was going to be doing some writing today. I've got a bit of time, so I wanted to invite Late Night 99 viewers or fans, or anyone that's come across this to join in on the writing process and be a part of writing my next feature film. So if everything's going well, we can sort of go right ahead, and I suppose as more people join, I'll need to sort of keep people in the loop about what the story is so far, and so I might repeat myself as we get more people in the chat and more people viewing. But the idea is that I've got a Google Docs up sitting here. That's all I use for writing is I just use Google Docs, and then format scripts there. But I don't think we'll get to the formatting stage today. I think probably what we'll end up doing is just getting like a treatment, or even just a scene by scene for what the film might be about, what might happen in the film. And then what I've done is I've shared the Google Drive or the Google Docs link in the description of the video, so you can pop in and add comments as I'm working on the film here, or you can comment on YouTube Live, and I'll take that input on board as well. So essentially, we are going to be working together on this. I'm going to be getting your input. I'll be asking questions, and if there's not enough people here to sort of give their input into what they think, I'll just go ahead and explain what I'm thinking and my process, and hope for the best. Now, I'm just streaming off the front camera of my phone, so it's not a super crisp stream, but you can see me. It seems like you can hear me. Thank you, Stardust Studios, and for clarifying that. And I'll just go ahead and start writing. I've figured before I start writing and getting into the guts of it, I am just going to take a moment to share the stream with like on Twitter, on Discord, and a few different places where people are, and see if anyone else wants to join that's around. And if not, I'll just get started. So you'll have to forgive me for just a moment as I go around and share this a few different places. So feel free to let me know who you are, if you're there, and if you're watching. Let me know what things you like writing, where you what you use to write your scripts. Do you use software? Do you use just Google Docs or Word or Pages as well? And yeah, I'll just be sharing this around, so give me a moment. Just sharing on Twitter first, or X. Going live now. Streaming. How about going live now? Come and help me write my next feature film. Taking on everyone's ideas. Next, I'm going to fire up good old Discord. And I won't share it on Facebook. I don't think very many people follow me on Facebook, so I'll just do Discord and Twitter, and we'll go from there. Um, this is so much to juggle. I've seen other people juggle, like switching podcasts and stuff. It's just crazy. I'm not quite so talented as that. So if I'm taking a little bit of time and there's a bit of dead air as I'm trying to read what people are saying and then also write at the same time, I most likely have undiagnosed ADHD, so I can really only focus on one thing at once. So I'll have to be forgiving. When I write, it's usually at night time. To be quite honest, it's just a coincidence that family are out. I've got an opportunity to do some writing, and in saying that, it's a good time because anyone in the States it's during the day there, and then anywhere. Basically, right now is the time where everyone's awake that might be watching my film. So here we go. I'm on Discord now, writing a feature film live. Come and join. Give me your thoughts and participate in the writing process. There we go. See if anyone comes. Let me get back to this. You use Google Docs as well. Sorry, a bit delayed. I wasn't even in the chat. Love, 100. Awesome, me too. Okay. So, what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to write a feature film. My family's going to be away on a holiday around the middle of the year, so I'm going to have an opportunity to have a few weekends where we can go and shoot something. So I wanted to start to write a film that we can work on during that time. So first of all, when I'm writing a film, I like to think about and acknowledge what limitations are going to be in place for when I'm working on it, and I like to also think about what are the actors I might have involved, what's the scope, and then and they all inform each other, right? So the actor that's always going to be available is me. So at the very least, we can have a cast of one. And when I think about the limitations, I'm probably not going to be able to get a cinematographer on board. So all the shots will most likely be locked off tripod shots for this film. We have plenty of locations available, lots of locations. So that I'm excited for because I feel that that's one of the things that really invigorates me and excites me about making films is where are we going to film it, what's the setting, because that's a character in and of itself, isn't it? And one thing that I thought would be really good is coming off of shooting our Star Wars fan film, we've got a whole bunch of costumes because we had a whole wardrobe department for that film. So we've got heaps and heaps of costumes that we used mainly for extras. And what we're going to be able to do is reuse those costumes. Now, a lot of them were really tattered, like all of our extras looked like homeless kids. So what I'm going to be doing is relying on those costumes to be the costuming for the film. So we've got tattered clothes, old worn clothes. So off the top of my head, I was thinking maybe we shoot something, or maybe we write something like an apocalypse film. Maybe we do something like a sci-fi, maybe we make our very own original space opera, our own Star Wars. We'll go like proper Zack Snyder and do our own, make our own Star Wars. The other thing that I was thinking was we also do have all these guns. So as a part of the costume department, we've got all these firearms. And then we also have props left over from Professor Devours and some other things. There's a big crate, like a huge wooden crate, which I think could be fun to use as well. So the crate could play a part in it. And yeah, so most of the locations I have are outdoors locations. So we're like we have some abandoned houses that I know of, but there's always a risk at shooting at those. And then we also have obviously my house, and then a few other houses of friends that are not abandoned, that people live in, that we can also film in as well. So I've got a few locations I'm thinking of. What did Stardust say? Always try and get ideas for a film with just me, but I can never get an idea. Yeah, it's hard coming up with films that you can shoot on your own. So thankfully for this project, I'm fairly confident that I'll have some friends, some filmmaking peers that may be able to make the film with me. But I'm not going to rely on any of them. It's a film that I want to think of a concept that I could pretty much do with myself and maybe 2 or 3 other friends. But all things going well, I might be able to do some casting and get some actors in too. But the thing that I always come back to and think about is we're in a landscape where we've just recently had the writers' strike and the actors' strike. So when I'm asking like professional actors to come and perform in my films for free, it leaves sort of like a sour taste in my mouth, and it makes me a little bit nervous because I don't want to come across as exploitative to people. So that's why I know that with my friends they would get as much out of the filmmaking process as me. But when it comes to people I don't know, I'm a lot more cautious. And where possible, I try and actually pay them, even if it's just $40, $50 for petrol and the inconvenience of coming out. I try and think about catering for them as well. But yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll probably shoot big for this, but then be prepared to trim it down and simplify it. I shot a feature film. The first feature film I shot and released was Over the Next Horizon, which was an apocalyptic film. It did fairly well on YouTube. I was pretty much the main character. I had a clear goal, so I want the characters to have clear goals and clear objectives. So that's sort of where we're at. So genre, let's say, can you see that? So we've got genre, post-apocalyptic, slash sci-fi, space opera. Now if you can't see the stream very well, I apologize. Hopefully, hopefully it shows up what I'm writing. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, so that's where we're at. Post-apocalyptic, sci-fi, space opera. Okay, cast. We've got Alex and friends. In brackets, but maybe just Alex. Crew. Maybe no one. This is the case for a lot of my films, there's usually not a crew that I have, but more recently we've been able to get more people on board and more people involved, but I'll always plan to make a film with no crew, and then if we have people on set to help, then that's just a huge bonus. So I'm thinking maybe no one. I've just recently bought some Rode Wireless Go 2 mics, so they're going to be helping us deal with sound. So that brings me to the limitations. We've got only 2 lav mics, so can't be too windy. We've got 1 camera, limited human beings to help, and we also, if we're doing like a post-apocalyptic sci-fi type thing, I'm not very good at like Blender and 3D assets and stuff. So we can't have any. We can't have any. Blanking. So we can't have any spaceships. If we're gonna be having like distant rubble or like derelict skyscrapers in the background, they're gonna just need to be masked in. But I'm fairly confident in my abilities that I'll be able to mask it in. I think that's gonna be okay. So possibly in the background we're gonna be able to show the wider world, but it's gonna have to be a contained story, mostly occurring in nature / the outback / fields and forests, roads, dirt paths, and maybe abandoned houses. Again, like the ethics of that are a little bit shady because we're using property that we haven't properly asked for access to, but I'm fairly forgiving of myself for using abandoned houses. I always do try and find the property owner and ask permission, and if they explicitly say no, then I usually don't use them. But if I can't find who it is, I just usually go and shoot there and then take precautions. So, hello, Mr. Friendly, welcome. I just want to reply to some of these things. So, is there going to be a sequel to Weapon X? Maybe, but probably not. That's the answer to that. I want to make a feature film, just me and I have friends that will help, but it just takes a lot to get them over and actually shoot. I just want to make a simple feature film. Yeah, it's definitely possible to make a simple feature film. I would go over and have a look at the $5 Film School. Dan Lotz has a few really amazing feature films that he's shot by himself or just with one friend. Yeah, it's about... I wouldn't try and do something that is outside of the scope that you could realistically do with one person. And then also, I would be thinking about what is going to be a realistic film that I can tell that everyone can enjoy with me who I am. So, like, I made the mistake when I was a lot younger that I shot films about like gangsters and shootouts and assassins and stuff, and it's like I'm like 16, 17 and I look 12. No one's believing that I'm an assassin or a gangster. I feel like if I can go back in time, I would be trying to tell stories about what's going on for me at that time in my life as a teenager, as a kid. What are going to be some interesting films? What are some interesting stories that I can tell from this perspective? Because I'm never going to have that exact perspective again. So yeah. Hello there, how you doing? I'm doing really well. We're writing a film here. We're trying to. I'm just trying to outline what are some of the limitations, what's the cast and crew going to look like, and that'll inform the sort of story that we come up with. And we'll have to keep checking in with ourselves about that. So, one thing that I have been thinking about is one thing I've been thinking about is what's a story structure that I can use that'll keep people's interest, keep people engaged and interested in what I'm actually in the story I'm actually telling, because I feel like with those like minimalistic films, the retention rate is just terrible on YouTube. Like, people just aren't watching them. A classic example is my film Don't Come, a recent film I released. It's like a 30-minute film, and the first 15 minutes is just my character in a car taking phone calls, and the retention rate just plummeted. Like, people were struggling to get through that film, and that's something I got to really think about, really take seriously when we're making films. Is are people actually enjoying it? Are they engaging in this? What's up, gang? I'm watching from the shower. It's my actual writing partner from real life, my friend Joel. So feel free to jump in Google Drive, buddy. Help me out here. So what I was thinking was, hey, let's come up with a film that is possibly action heavy, where people always have something to do. They're always working towards something. They've always got micro goals, micro objectives. So it's so it keeps engagement there. And then let's also think about like in the back of my mind, I'm wanting every couple of minutes, basically every couple of minutes, I want something something to happen that moves the plot forward in a significant way. So someone's got to die, someone's got to learn something, someone's got to be put in danger. I don't want dead air, right? Just like when I'm doing this live stream, I don't want too much dead air. I don't want nothing to be happening. I just want, in this film, I want there to always be something happening, so that when people are watching it, they stay engaged throughout the whole film. And just as they're starting to get bored, something else happens, and they go, oh, I want an answer to that question, or I want to see how that's going to impact the story. Hey Ben, welcome, man. Just saw it. G'day all. Well, it's just the start. I'll probably stream for like maybe an hour and a half, and then I'll stop. And yeah, like I said, this is a good time. There's everyone's awake, no matter where you live in the world. All right, let me just check this. All right, I just had to check Facebook real quick to make sure that nothing important was happening. All right, here we go. So what I'm thinking, feel free to throw out your ideas as well, but what I'm thinking is that we start off the story, or that we, what I'm thinking is there's like maybe an object or like a MacGuffin, something that's important to the characters of this story that changes hands. So we're gonna, because I've got a series of weekends to film on, I'm thinking that I'll on each weekend, or I'll maybe split the weekends up into two, morning and afternoon, and I'll shoot with a different actor or a different character in each of those windows, and they sort of like a relay race. They hand the baton on to the next person, then they take the story over. So it's like a shifting protagonist. And that's a way to do two things, is to not rely on an actor giving up multiple weekends of their own time, which is going to be a lot harder to schedule. And instead, we've got people who are only committing like half a day to come and shoot a film, come and have fun, and then and then by the time that they've finished shooting with us, we'll hand the baton over to the next person. So that's sort of what I'm thinking. I'm writing a drama right now, and it's based off my real life. Yeah, cool. That's a great way to go, because no one can tell your story like you, and nobody is living your story except you. So what an excellent story to tell. It's never going to be seen or told by anyone in the same way that you could do it. So do that, man. Alright, so I'm thinking as well about like the marketability of this film, and it's coming out this year, but it might not come out. We're shooting it this year, but what I'm thinking is, we've got some we've got the Fallout series that's just come out. That's like a nuclear apocalypse genre. It's really popular at the moment, and everyone also loves apocalypse films. The film that I shot, Time in Between, which was like just a short film that I shot in the universe of Over the Next Horizon, it's still getting views. It gets like 20, 30 views a day. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe that's something that people are searching for. From my own analytics, I can see that people are searching for apocalypse films. They do fairly well. Other sort of competing films do well on YouTube, and it's a genre that I'm familiar with and love doing. So we'll probably stick in that genre rather than the sci-fi space opera genre. Even though that is fun and something I'd love to do. I think we'll maybe stick in the post-apocalyptic space. And if we're going to have these micro sort of stories and they all hand on to each other, we can then do we can do maybe little stories, and I can get your input on what characters you'd like to see. If you have any ideas about the MacGuffin or what they're trying to get or do or want. And if it's nuclear apocalypse, we can use things like we can make up like a little radiation tool to measure radiation. We can think about what are important things in a nuclear apocalypse. What can't you do? What do you need? What are the limitations of the characters? What are the dangers that they face? And yeah, maybe speak to that a little bit. And then I think that's going to position us in a in a space where we can go, hey, we've got a marketable idea, we've got a genre that I'm comfortable working in, we can shoot it in a way that we're gonna be able to schedule easily, and the focus then today maybe is going to be help me come up with some really engaging, really interesting, unique characters that we can incorporate in the film, and maybe some situations that they can come across that'll be engaging and interesting. So let me just write that down. Story: a nuclear apocalypse has devastated Australia. I never set films not in Australia because one, Australians doing American accents never sounds quite right, and I think it's a really fun way to support Australiana and Australian movies. Hey, let's set them in Australia. Also, the best post-apocalyptic films come from Australia. So I'll just go think Mad Max and Fallout. So that's sort of the vibe I'm going for. So nuclear apocalypse has devastated Australia. The survivors fight over this one thing. Help, I don't know what. And so that's the story. The plot devices. So no one does post-apocalypse like Australians. All right. Plot devices. Microfilm. Micro plots, we'll call it, that hand over to each other like a relay race. Alright, Ben, you could have a sci-fi element as a background. Maybe the apocalypse is caused by an alien crash or invasion. You could introduce new and more unpredictable dangers in the form of alien contaminants. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I actually have an alien mask that we used for Star Wars. We have two. So we also have the possibility of introducing alien characters. So let me have like an ideas section. Alien contaminants / characters. Spaceships in the background. That's something we could do with masking and JPEGs and stuff. What else? Derelict cities in the background as well. Thank you, Joel. If you're not sticking around, enjoy the rest of your day. Do something you enjoy doing, my dude. Okay, so there we go. Yep, that's a good idea, and that can be we can consider those plot devices for sort of like that sci-fi element and bring it in. We could maybe also... I never like explaining things too much, so the more that we can imply, the better. Or just we don't have to explain everything. Is what I'm getting at. It has to make sense, but we don't have to we don't have to explain everything with exposition. That's what I'm saying. So, if there are aliens, I'm kind of happy for an alien character to just rock up, and then someone go, "Oh, it's one of those aliens," rather than have to explain at the beginning. Hey, by the way, there's aliens. They invaded. There was a fight. They dropped a new type of bomb, and it destroyed the city, and it polluted the water, and da-da-da-da-da. I feel like we can just experience the world as the characters experience it, and that's how we can learn about the film. So, okay, what's next? Stories. I'm thinking maybe now or maybe characters should be the next thing we think about. What are some characters that we can include? So I'm not just after like the physical description of the character. If you guys are suggesting things, you're welcome to comment again. I should probably just explain in case there's anyone new that's popped in. I'm writing a feature film here. We're probably more than anything just going to be writing the scenes, writing the ideas, and then working on some characters. In the description is a link to the Google Drive, so you can pop in and comment on that Google Drive. The link allows anyone to come and view and comment, and then you can also comment on the live stream there. Ben, I agree. The cause of the disaster doesn't need to be known. The chances are we wouldn't have a clue what tech they used. Yeah, exactly. And I think by doing that, it is a way to show confidence as a writer as well. Not that I'm any authority to speak on on writing, because I don't consider myself the best writer on the planet. But I feel like when you're writing a film or a concept, and you're constantly explaining yourself, and you constantly feel like you have to justify everything. It's actually not the case. If you think about a lot of films, like even The Shining, right? We don't have to know who the dog onesie character is, who this is, who that is. You don't need to know everything that happened. You don't need to fully understand why these ghosts are here, why they're stuck at the Shining Hotel. You don't need to know the exact mechanism. You don't need someone like a paranormal investigator to come in and explain to the audience what's actually happening here. It's just like, come on. If we're comparing this to other films, even films in the same genre like Mad Max, you don't like we don't know the exact political state of the country when it all fell apart. Even a more recent example with Civil War, like I think it demonstrates confidence when you've got people, when you've got a writer who it doesn't feel like they have to explain themselves. I spent way too long on that. Here we go, Mr. Friendly. Maybe a character could be like a sort of Shaun of the Dead inspired, with him not knowing what's going on until it gets really bad. That's a really good idea. I think that's a really fun archetype to play with, is the and that's a fun situation to film as well, when you've got someone whose things are the audience knows things that the characters don't know. I think where I'm thinking this film might go is where this film might go, I think, is that we're already maybe a couple of years into the apocalypse. Everyone's sort of like acclimatized to the apocalypse, and they're trying to survive in this world. So I think maybe a character a few years into the apocalypse going, "What? I'm just trying to get milk. All this milk's so sour. I don't know why." I think like that would make for actually a really funny comedy skit, where you have
Shaun from Shaun of the Dead, still not knowing that the apocalypse is happening, like months and weeks and years in. Might start with the character who's broken the rules and gone out to search something, maybe an alien power source or medicine. Hey, that's a cool idea. Character, characters, we'll just go one. Okay, rule breaker. Searching for something. In doing this, then we can sort of that can be another really helpful way to explain some of the rules of this apocalypse by showing you how the characters abide by or break those rules. You don't need to say what the rules are, but when you see a character break a rule, that's how you understand what's actually going on. So searching for something, starter character. One thing that I was thinking, and this is like stepping away from characters a little bit, but we've got I'll maybe include this in plot devices. One thing I was thinking, he's probably not ready for it, but that'll be part of his journey. Yeah. So plot devices. Let's have a look and think about that. So, sorry, what I was thinking was maybe the character who, in terms of resources in the apocalypse that are valuable, I'm thinking if it's sort of like a nuclear apocalypse or alien contaminants have come down and been on Earth, that water really quickly would be, like fresh water would really quickly become a valuable resource. So I was even thinking that the big wooden crate that I have could be a plot device in the film that people are trying to get or use, and it's filled with bottled water. So that's one thing I was thinking, but it could be sorry. Thank you, Ben, for helping me spell medicine. Alright. And then sorry, let's acknowledge Mr. Friendly's character suggestion as well. So character who doesn't know how bad it really is. That could be fun. I just actually have finished watching Fallout, and that suggestion makes me think of like the Vault Dwellers, you know, people who have hidden away in a Fallout shelter or something, and they've just come out now because they've run out of water or whatever it is. That could be a really fun way to introduce us to the world as well. So definitely keen to introduce a character like that. And they could even be the same character. Maybe these two characters, are the same. Let's change their color. Maybe the character who doesn't know how bad it really is has gone out, broken the rules. They've left the vault. They've left the Fallout shelter, because for their own survival. They've got family back there. There's stakes, and they're trying to find fresh water or medicine or whatever it is. Okay, another character I was thinking about personally, while I'm waiting for more suggestions or more ideas to come in. The character I was thinking about was sort of like a Malcolm Reynolds, Firefly type character, like a bit of a cowboy who has his own code, and I liked the idea of an apocalypse sort of returning us to like the Wild West. So this could be like an outlaw character who's maybe more morally grey, or it could be a character who's maybe a bit more like Rick Grimes, like a bit lawful good, you know, like chapter 1, like season 1, season 2 Rick Grimes of The Walking Dead, someone who's maybe a police officer or a law enforcement officer in the previous life, and they've taken on the role of like a sheriff, and they're here to enforce the law. And that can be sort of their introduction to the film, as they've maybe something unjust is happening, and they come in to end it, end the situation, or save someone. They can be like a bit of a hero, and they can be maybe corrupted by the lack of resources or a particular situation, or maybe they just remain good and don't learn anything. Who knows? So, lawful, good character, maybe ex-law enforcement, taking on the role of a sheriff in the wasteland. Okay, that's a few characters then. Don't you guys race off? I just need to quickly go to the toilet because I've been drinking coffee, which is a laxative. I'll be right back. And if you leave any comments here, I'll come back, read them, and we'll get straight back into it. I just need a bathroom break. Alright, I'm back. How many people did lose? We lost someone, no! Alright, I'm back. In case we've lost someone and then someone else has come in their place, let me just explain what we're doing here. Actually, no, I can see. No one's joined. Alright, easy peasy. So, let's just continue. What are some other characters that we can have? I like the idea of there being, like a colony or like a nomadic group of people who are all who have all been surviving in the apocalypse, but they're all fairly good people. So I like the idea of having like a bit of a group, having a group of characters who know and care about each other, and I want to have them all brutally murdered. Sorry, I think that's fun. So I think that to deal with this group of characters, I think we need some more sort of morally reprehensible people. So maybe we could also have a character who's a bad guy, or maybe like a pure survivalist who will do anything to stay alive. And then I think the question with a character like this is why are they fighting? Why are they still battling? Why are they still surviving the apocalypse? What are they doing? So I think that's kind of fun. Oh, Ben's got a fun idea. A funny character, maybe a mad alien mutant, badly wounded individual, uncertain loyalty, Cheshire Cat type. And Mr. Friendly said there could be a weak sort of character who's in the army, he's lost all the other soldiers, he's looking for food, water, and bullets for his gun. Yeah, that's fun. Right, I love both those ideas. So let's go. There's, what do we call them? A defector character, left Could be a cult, it could be a group, army, for his own self-interest. Looking for supplies, and redemption. Maybe a character like that has a lot of shame. Maybe a character like that who's defected has something to prove. We don't have to have all these things happen at once, but it's just I like to try and think about those things with characters. Is how can we get more depth there. He could have left the group that all die. Hey, that's a fun idea. Maybe we can have a character that that comes back. So the defected character, maybe he was a part of that group, and then they all die, or maybe he hides while they're getting killed and doesn't save them when he could, and then he can come back towards the end, and redeem himself as a person. That's cool. And let's have a look at Ben's suggestion here. A funny character. Yeah, I think we need a comic relief character. A wild card. This could be an alien character, or a mad, badly wounded person, uncertain loyalty. Cheshire Cat type. Yeah, cool. Love those ideas. I think there's probably enough here to maybe start working off in terms of crafting situations or crafting scenarios for these people to start dealing with. I think the villain could be someone who's convinced that humans don't deserve to exist. Yeah, true. Maybe there's an ideological barrier, or to goodness. In brackets, humans, in quotes, sorry, humans don't deserve to exist. So yeah, so we're not just. I think that's a good idea, because what I don't want is everyone's motivation to just be, I want this resource. No, you have this resource. Give me that resource. I think it could be fun to deal with some ideological stuff. And I think the rule breaker character deals with that. They're maybe the reason they're breaking the rules or going out is because they don't like the rules. They're a rebel at heart, at heart type thing. Having the Cheshire Cat type person, maybe instead of maybe we don't quite know what their motives are, but they could have chaotic motivations. Maybe they could have chaotic motivations, yeah. Something going on for them, and why they're doing these things. Sorry, just getting back. I was just checking the places I shared this around. Let's see, is there anywhere else that I can share this stream? Might hit Twitter again. Hey, Twitter world. Oh, I shouldn't say that. It was OJ's thing. Writing a film live on YouTube. Might do hashtags. Hashtags on Twitter don't really. I don't know. I've not seen them really help, but film Twitter, filmmaking, writing. There we go. Come and help. Alright, cool. Let's go back. Yeah, I like that idea too, Mr. Friendly. And I think that's a good twist on the bad guy. It makes him, yeah, it makes him like a little bit deeper. And maybe he's right, and that can be a, like, so just think. I think it's, even though I just said earlier in the stream that we don't need to know all the whys, I don't think I want to qualify that. I don't think we need to tell the audience all of the whys, but I think as writers, as a little writing team here, we probably do need to know some of the whys so that we can tell like a coherent story. We just don't need to explain it to the audience, or when we do, it's more satisfying. Like seeing glimpses of something and then getting answers at the end is way more satisfying than being told everything at the beginning and then explaining it afterwards, or then seeing it play out afterwards. So, story, background. I'm gonna call this the how. Like, how has this all happened? I'm just thinking maybe, because when you said that humans don't deserve to exist, maybe aliens invaded Earth, or aliens visited Earth. Human governments nuked the alien ships, leaving both species in a nuclear waste land to fight it out, to survive together. So maybe that's fun. Maybe like the alien ships came down, they invaded or visited Earth, and human governments terrified nuked the alien ships, but then also, left Australia, maybe they visited Australia. They didn't visit the world, they just came to Australia, the best place. They've gone, look, there's all this empty space in the middle of your country. Could we colonize here? Could we visit? Could you give us a place to stay? And then the human government said, no, we're going to nuke Australia to get rid of the alien ships. Maybe most of the aliens were killed, but some roam the outback, the radioactive outback, yeah. Okay, getting some notifications. There we are. All right. That's a probable and disturbing scenario. Yeah, I think so too. I think that's and this is a classic example, all getting sort of played out here in real time, where we have character motivations informing plot, rather than coming up with a plot and then sort of cramming characters into it and trying to make it make sense. You've got characters and how they feel actually, informing the plot more than anything. Okay, just finished the script for my short film. It's called Stress. It's going to be about a kid who has a panic attack, and I'm going to get my neighbour to be in it. Hey, that's a great idea. It's a great idea. I was thinking about anxiety as a plot device with my friend Anton. Yesterday we were messaging. I feel like a lot of horror films play into sort of like old fears. Like you've got the classic like Universal monster films. I don't know if it's a Universal monster, but like King Kong and stuff, right? And they're all about communism, and there's all the subtext that exists there. And then you've got, like we're all afraid of serial killers, from the 80s, and we're still scared of them now. We still get the serial killer movies. I don't think the horror genre has evolved heaps in terms of the things that we're scared of. And I think like social anxiety or anxiety is not something that we've really. It's like a big part of people's lives. Like I feel like I have a lot of social anxiety at times, and it's like you don't see very many films where that are allegories for anxiety and stuff. I think that's why when films like The Babadook come out, or films that are dealing with things that we aren't that we are more scared of, or that we are facing, or like our real life fears, whether it's like mental health or ego and that sort of thing. It's like I genuinely feel like there's room for some new stories out there that deal with modern day like fears. So yeah, Stress. That sounds like a really great short film. Ben, random thought before my tired writing all day brain forgets it. What kind of pests might come out of a destroyed alien ship? Alien version of rats or cockroaches, a bit of extra danger. Yeah, great pests. I'll just put that question there in the characters. I suppose that'd be characters. What kind of pests or creatures come out of an alien ship? So that's another thing to think about, is like puppeting. Are we going to be able to puppet creatures or CGI creatures? Probably not. But at the same time, maybe we can. Like, maybe there's a creative way to show these creatures. Maybe they could be like a POV thing. Maybe we could use drones to be the POV of these, these little creatures. Bit of extra danger. Yeah, I think having sort of like external, and that's always the freedom that we get with like a nuclear apocalypse type thing, is we can go, hey, what are some things, how does the apocalypse, or how does the nuclear radiation corrupt everything? And that's how we can get some unique takes on characters. Or sorry, I got tired writing brain too, and I've only been writing for like nearly an hour. But yeah, no, agreed. We need some pests, some creatures in here. Could you do a reaction to it once it comes out, and I'll at you? Oh yeah, man. Like I'll shoot you a message about it. Give you my review. I'm doing reviews for feature films. Maybe not all feature films, but I'm doing some like folk filmmaking reviews on YouTube. So I'm trying to get one to come out a month. I just reviewed 6 Days Alone, which is a really great film by Dan Lotz. Definitely check it out. Ben, In the Dark sounds ways about it. Could be funny too. Yeah. There's lots of I'll just put that here. In the Dark. Maybe they only come out at night. That's another come out at night. Sound effects. Alright. Sweet. Well, I think unless anyone has any other ideas, I think those are the main characters that we'll look at. Oh, we got 2 new people. Alright. Welcome to this live. 2 new people. Let me explain what's going on. I'm writing a feature film. I'm getting your help. I'll recap. Now's probably a good time to do a recap. At maybe like halfway through the stream. So we've got the genre is going to be post-apocalyptic, maybe like a nuclear apocalypse. The cast is going to be Alex and friends, but maybe just Alex. So we have to. I think this idea is we've probably strayed a bit away from that. I don't think this is possible with just me, unless I just take one of these characters and then roll with it. But I like the idea of what we've got going on here. Anyway, crew, maybe nobody. We might not have anyone to act to be crew for this. So the whole film, meaning tripods, Rode wireless mics for sound, etc. Tripods or fan footage. That's another thing. But again, this is only if I'm acting in it. Limitations, I only have 2 lav mics, so it can't be too windy. Backup sound, I don't know. I've had positive and negative experiences with lavs, so it's a bit scary. or limited dialogue. It's a age-old trick. We've got one camera, so can't do multi-camera setup, so don't know why I felt like putting that there, but anyway, limited human beings to help on set. That's some of the limitations. It probably needs to be a contained story. If we're doing post-apocalyptic, we're not going to be able to traverse the whole of apocalyptic Australia. We're probably going to have to treat it a little bit like Over the Next Horizon, where it's occurring in nature, in the outback fields, forests, roads, dirt paths, maybe abandoned houses, depending on what is still around when we're shooting it and what I feel brave enough to use. Story. A nuclear apocalypse has devastated Australia. Think Mad Max, Fallout. Survivors fight over one thing. Help, I don't know what. I think maybe instead of them fighting over one thing, we've sort of strayed a bit away from that. And we're going to be doing, rather than focusing on these MacGuffins in the film, I think it's going to be more of like a character-based thing. Now, this will be important. The plot devices we're going to use, this is the main thing. We're going to film lots of little micro plots that hand over to each other like a relay race. So you might start with one character, we follow them for 5-10 minutes, and then they hand over to someone else. When they die or their plot or their storyline is resolved, then we hand over to someone else, and then follow them, and then we hand over to someone else. So I think this is going to fit into my limitation of not having many people to act in it necessarily. It's going to make it a lot easier to schedule people or even get new people involved in acting. It's a lot easier to say yes to half a day shooting, to get a feature film credit and to have fun on set and do that sort of thing than commit to like multiple weekends and not get paid. Feel a lot better asking someone to come in for a 5-hour shoot or a 4-hour shoot rather than a whole thing. Ideas, maybe there's like an alien component, spaceships in the background, derelict cities in the background as well, so that's a way that we can make the film seem bigger than it really is by having, using like sky replacements and background plates in our wide shots to sort of give a bigger idea about this world than what we're actually able to do. And we talked about the importance of having like a bit of a background, a bit of like understanding the how, like how has this happened. So the rough idea that we have is that aliens have visited Australia, human governments nuke the alien ships, leaving both species in a nuclear wasteland to survive together in the outback. Most of the aliens are killed, but some roam the radioactive outback. Maybe we'll say some roam the remnants of Australia. So in terms of characters, so far, what have we got? So far for characters, we've got a rule breaker dude, someone who's maybe doesn't know how bad the apocalypse really is. Maybe they've come out of like a fallout shelter or a revolt or something. They don't like the rules. Maybe they're a rebel at heart. We've also got a lawfully good character, maybe like ex-law enforcement, taking on the role of a sheriff in the wasteland. Think Western movies. We have a group of characters who know and care about each other, and I want to have them all brutally murdered. And then maybe we've got like a defector character who has left maybe that group, maybe another group, but at the moment we're thinking maybe they're from the same group, and he comes back later in the film looking for redemption. Maybe he ran away when there was danger, or hid and he could have saved them but didn't. He's got something to prove, possibly. Gonna get rid of bad guy. We've got a pure survivalist who'll do anything to stay alive. Why are they fighting? Maybe there's like an ideological character to them being a goodie. Maybe they think that humans don't deserve to exist. Maybe they're an alien themselves and they hate all humans because they got nuked when they just came to visit. They just wanted to give us flowers and ask us about our ways of living, and they got destroyed. Sad. Comic relief character, wild card, like a Cheshire Cat type, chaotic motivations. Maybe it's like a mad or badly wounded person or an alien. We don't understand how they feel or what they're doing. What kind of pests or creatures would come out of an alien ship? Maybe there's these creatures that come out after dark and that sort of thing. Brings to mind the novel structure of War of the Worlds. The narrator goes from one character to character, situation to situation. No goal beyond surviving the wasteland of Old Blighty. Yeah. All right. See you later, my dude. Thanks for sticking around for so long and writing with us and giving some ideas and just being here. Appreciate it. And yeah, Ben, that's a really cool comparison. I think this definitely has potential to go that way. One thing that I would really love is to have like a handover for each of the plots that they all link in somehow, and the trick will be making sure that they hand over in like a realistic way, or in a entertaining way. So transitions are so important. All right, where are we at? So let's come up with some. I think of all these characters, if we're gonna, I don't know, I'll call them micro plots, because I think that might be a good way to make sense of it. Micro plots. We've got all these different characters, and if we're going to pick one to start with, I'm thinking maybe the first one, the rule breaker character, this guy. I think maybe we start with him. It's a good way to be introduced to the world. So what I'm thinking is I'd love to see his Fallout shelter, whatever that is. I'd love to do some set decoration, find a house with a basement. There's no basements in Australia. None of us have basements. I'm thinking what I have access to. I've got access to like my own garden shed. Like where would you go and hide if you were in an apocalypse? Well, you wouldn't want anywhere with windows. Maybe you would go into a garage. Maybe you'd board up a bedroom. So I think he needs to be in. I think we need to start the film maybe in his safe. Start in his safe place and why he has to leave. And then when he leaves, we can explore the wasteland. One thing I do know about is that there's an abandoned house near me that towards the back of the property there's a garden shed similar to the garden shed that I have in my yard. So I'm just thinking, hey, that could be a cool. I've always thought that could be cool to shoot all the interiors at my house, and then when he opens the door, we transition to the wide apocalyptic wasteland of this abandoned house. So, start in his place and why he has to leave. Then we go. So maybe what I'm thinking is, the person that he's living with could be his partner or his mentor or his friend or whatever. So let's think of something to refer to this character by. Maybe we'll call him. What's like an innocent sounding name? Maybe just let's just call him Ben. We'll name him after our very own Ben Robinson. Okay, so Ben is a survivor who has stayed in his own Fallout shelter. Willie, that's great. All right, I'll keep Willie there as a name for another character. That's awesome. Ben is a survivor who stayed in his own fallout shelter for the past several what's that, months, maybe it needs to be years. His I will just say the person that he is sharing the shelter with has fallen deathly ill, and Ben is forced to decide or choose between leaving the shelter and breaking the rules, or staying and his friend and sealing the fate of his friend. Maybe that can be like a little conflict between the characters. There could be like a conflict there where the person he's staying with is like, no, don't go. And we get a taste of Ben's character, the deceptively sounding innocent survivalist. And that can be a way to put a little bit of exposition in there, understand what's happening in this world and why. Okay. Let's expand on this. So, what could it be that the Ben character needs? Let's say it's we could say it's medicine. Maybe we could have it be. There could be a few things. So they're running out of water. They are running out of bottled water. Have started eating the cockroaches from their shelter. That could be cool. Like, I reckon I could find some cockroaches and we can actually cook them up. Just maybe a bit cruel. Maybe I shouldn't say that. No, they'll be plastic. Maybe they actually are cooking up bugs and eating them. As they've also run out of food. Friend. No, maybe the friend is malnourished. Use ChatGTP. Haha. Well, maybe. I'm not. I've used ChatGTP in the writing process before, but I feed it a lot of pre-written information and then get it to reflect back to me in different structures. So I only really get it to. I only use it in the context of, hey, I'm going to give you a bunch of pre-written material that I have written. Can you regurgitate it back out to me in a few different ways? So it sort of helps me hear my own ideas back. I won't be doing it for this because I've got a bunch of amazing people who are here helping me. Ben, chasing a myth, acacia medicine, a miraculous alien device. Yeah. Maybe they are malnourished. I find it easy to play a malnourished person because I still have metabolism. So let's maybe Ben is excited, or Ben is fixated on the myth that cache of medicine exists in the next town. And maybe that's maybe they can have radios as well. Ben and his friend have radios that they use to anonymously communicate with others whilst still staying sheltered and hidden from the world. Okay, that's fun. So Ben leaves. I don't think the Ben character is gonna survive, or he can survive. Okay, let's keep going. So Ben leaves. He is surprised and amazed at. He is in awe of the destruction all around him. I think that's a fun way to take it as well, and it tells us a bit about his character too. Like, he's not sad necessarily. He's not depressed by the remnants of civilization, but he's in awe of it, and it's going out as fulfilling a dream or a want of his that he's wanted for a long time is to get out. Now he's finally out there. He can see everything for himself. So he's in awe of the destruction all around him, and communicates with his partner through their radios as he travels the world. Until they lose range. So I like the idea of him having some tie back to home, like he can radio his friend, mother, partner, whoever, and they can talk back and forth as he's exploring stuff, and that's a way that we can have him verbalize what he's feeling and sort of process some of those feelings with this other character. I think that could be a good way to go. Also, sorry. This is a really good first act. I think you're right, Ben. But in saying that, I think we need a hook. So what I want to do is I want to have a hook. Sheriff Roberts. Thank you, Mr. Friendly. My character name generator. Roberts. I think we need a hook. So people, like, genuinely, like, all of my films, I've released nearly 40 films on YouTube, and the only ones that have like lasting audience retention are the ones with like a decent hook. And even the ones with a decent hook, like, I friggin' started one of my films with my character shouting at, like, loading a bolt action rifle, aiming at his wife and saying, if you take one step closer, I'm going to shoot this baby. I was like, that's a hook if I ever heard of one, and that film doesn't even have great retention. So I want to have a good hook. So what I'm thinking is that the hook can be the group of characters. I'll just color code this. I think that could be a good hook. Is we don't need to know all these people. Surviving together with a box of medicine. Maybe that's 2 on the nose, 'cause that's what he's looking for, but whatever. So they're surviving together with a box of medicine and supplies. I think I'm imagining them holding it like the Ark of the Covenant, going through the wasteland. And suddenly they're getting shot at, and they start dropping like flies. Like, I'm talking in the first 30 seconds, these guys are like establishing shot of them walking the supplies, and then they're all getting shot down. Or whatever happens, like maybe they walk into a trap, or whatever. But they start dropping like flies. One of, we'll call this guy Willie. Willie, a member of the group, hides with his blaster. I'm gonna call them blasters because they're our old Star Wars blasters, but they just look like really busted up and damaged weapons. Maybe they kind of look like, you'll see when you watch the film, but they kind of like maybe like modified guns and weapons and stuff. Anyway, so Willie hides with his blaster and watches a group of bandits steal the box and leave with it. Willie has missed the opportunity to intervene. Okay, there we go. And then we cut to Ben in his own fallout shelter. And then, in my mind, this is going to be the only hard cut here between micro plots. And that Ben, now that we're with him, we're going to follow him all the way until he... I think because these guys will die, I want to give Ben sort of like a good ending. I think I don't want it to be like entirely cynical. I think it would be good to reward him. Yeah, maybe instead of a group of bandits, it's a cult group steal the box. There we go, cult group. What do they believe? Why? Who are they? How many are there? Okay. Yeah, good suggestion, Mr. Friendly. So anyway, I think I don't want it to be super cynical. I think it could be good to give a few happy endings in this. So, and if the main like if we're getting, yeah, that's a good idea too. Here we go. Well intentioned, but lost their way. I think if we're the first guy that we get attached to, if we like kill him off, I feel like it could sour people to the rest of the film. I think we need to start off and show the audience, whoever's going to be watching our film, hey, you're allowed to get attached to these characters and enjoy them. It might go well. And then have all the subsequent plots go terribly and cynically, but I feel like we just need one to be like, to give them hope that it's going to be worth watching. And then maybe, maybe just like at the beginning we have a cut here and a jump. Maybe we then follow through like a Crash or something, you know, if you've seen the film Crash. Like we weave between these different plots. And then at the end, we cut back to Ben when he returns to the shelter and his friend's dead. And he's like, oh, it's too late. That could be a good way to bookend it as well. I'm going to write that down, actually. Film ends when Ben returns and is too late. His friend, shelter mate, has died. Okay. Cool. So, who's here? We only got 2 people here, so, let's have a look. Okay. So, hey, welcome, guys. If just to catch you up, we're making a post-apocalyptic film. It's about aliens who have visited Australia. The human government has nuked all the alien ships, leaving both species in a nuclear wasteland to survive in the outback. Most of the aliens are killed, but some roam the remnants of Australia. So we've got a character, Ben, who's sort of like a he's been surviving in a fallout shelter. Yeah, no, that's a good point, Ben. Happy endings are not used enough now. Everyone does the dark ending, but you want an audience elated, even if there's a bittersweet ending. Yeah, thinking like the Road is a really good example. Cormac McCarthy's The Road. It's a bittersweet ending. That spoilers for that movie, but in the book, the dad dies, who who's been our protagonist this whole time, but there's hope there for his son to go and live a good life with Guy Pearce or who was that? I'm not gonna look it up. I'll go through a rabbit hole of trying to identify actors in films. But yeah, all right, cool. So we've got Ben. He's in awe of the destruction. He communicates with his partner through their radio, and he travels until they lose range. I think he needs to come across something that challenges him now. Maybe a dead person. Maybe he's not seen a dead person before or a skeleton. Ben encounters a skeleton or a corpse. Oh, pardon me. I just have to check this and make sure everything's going okay. Yep. All right. John Hurt. Yeah, he's in the Road, but I don't think he's the guy at the very, very, very end. I feel like the guy at the end was Guy Pearce or something, but I might be wrong. And it causes him to feel fear. I think it's important for him to have like a healthy fear for the world, because otherwise, I don't want him sort of like confidently walking into situations going like, "Hey, I'm naive." It's like I feel like he needs to be cautious. Yeah, it can be like, is this real? Is this real? Do people... maybe... Oh, this is a good idea. Thank you, Mr. Friendly. Maybe when he encounters the corpse, it can be a recently dead corpse. And he's surprised because he didn't think anyone else was surviving out there. Which kind of conflicts with what I said before, that they've got a radio to communicate with others. But maybe they're communicating with other shelters. Other sheltered characters. With other characters staying sheltered and hidden from the world. So yeah, so maybe Ben and his friend are talking to neighbouring shelters. Maybe they were in a street of people who all built Fallout shelters. And when he finds a corpse out there on the street, he's like, "What? This guy recently, like, other people have been surviving out here. Like, I thought everyone was dead." Okay. Or it could be an alien corpse as well. An alien corpse. I think that's a good idea too, to introduce the idea of... Oh! Shoot. My delete key. My delete key doesn't work. He encounters an alien corpse. There we go. And maybe he's not just surprised that anyone's surviving it here, but also that aliens were still alive. That's right, if you've just joined, there's aliens in this. Let me go back and just refresh you. I saw someone's here. So essentially what we've got happening is we've got a series of micro plots that are going to hand over to each other like a relay race. The plot is that aliens have visited Australia, the human government nuked all the ships, leaving both species in a nuclear wasteland. So now all these characters are surviving in the wasteland. Think like Mad Max, think Fallout, and now we're coming up with the different plots, the different characters, and the different storylines that are going to interweave in this film. Here we go, sorry. There could be a scene where Ben sees a close friend or a family member in a flashback hallucination. This could occur when they first see the cult, leading to his question of reality. Yeah, I like the idea. Like, I think when it comes to hallucinations and stuff, that's a really good idea. We could definitely do that. I'll just put here when it comes to microplots. I'll just put Ben's character here maybe. Hallucinations. I think with it depends on how the film is shot. Whether we're making a really subjective film or a really objective film. If we're making a really objective film, which is what I was sort of leaning towards, but if we're making a really objective film, it's going to be we're only going to see what's really happening. And I was thinking as well that we maybe stay a healthy distance away from the characters. We're not being too manipulative in the filmmaking, like, oh, hey, look, this is what you should notice, and we're just sort of letting it exist as sort of like a I don't know. And this is just me thinking of the limitations as well. Rather than getting loads and loads of coverage, I was thinking of maybe sitting back in wides for a lot of the film and having just like a more factual or more objective look at things. So in that context, I don't think a hallucination or flashback would really work. But if we were shooting like closer to the character with normal coverage, and we're showing how the character's feeling with the camera, and what the audience is seeing is not like a factual account of events, but the character's perspective, I think the flashbacks and hallucinations could work. I think, however, because we're switching perspectives so much between all these different plots, I think what we're seeing needs to be a little bit objective, a little bit factual. Otherwise, it might not. It doesn't make so much sense to me. It might actually work, and I might be not thinking in the right way about it. But I feel like because we're in a second, we're going to move on from Ben and we're going to follow someone else, and so it's not really Ben's movie. It's not Ben's story. It's everyone's story. So it didn't make sense to me that Ben would be seeing like a flashback or a hallucination, because he is like, it's not his perspective. But maybe I'll move on from that. You might be right. It could be a good idea. I've definitely noted it here, because I think if this was just Ben's movie and we could shoot it all from his perspective, I think that would really work. But because we're changing perspectives, I don't want us to lock too much into Ben's frame of mind. I sort of want to be like following him. Yeah, I think he should definitely be a conspiracy theorist, because he's been. It's like Lord of the Flies. Like, he's been isolated from the world for so much. He's been reintroduced through his experiences, and it's like, what's going on? Like, what do I believe? He's like questioning his own reality and his own beliefs. So, where we are? Yep. So he comes across the alien corpse. He, I think he needs to. What I would love is for him to. I think what would be really good is if he came across. I want him to encounter another character from our list of characters. I want them to have a positive exchange, like maybe a tense exchange, but positive outcome at the end of it. Like that's sort of what I tried to do in Over the Next Horizon as well. Like the two characters have a really positive exchange, where they communicate, and then they move on without having to shoot each other. I think that's good to show that it's not your normal apocalypse movie. We're not just all quick to get our guns out and kill each other. We can trade and negotiate here. Like there's some sort of common ground for people. I think maybe he should come across. I was just thinking the sheriff, because he's the only other sort of, and then that's how we can sort of get diminishing returns in the film as well. Like the characters go from being this like commune of people, like really positive. This guy named friggin' Willie, like they're just cool, simple people. They all died, so sucks to be them. we're introduced to Ben, who's like a pretty good person. He's taking risks to help his friend. Then we're introduced to the sheriff, who's maybe got some character flaws, and then we get introduced to more and more chaotic and more like I think we need to. The more we're in this world, the more we need to realize that things are not quite good. I think maybe what yeah, the dream thing could be simply a scene where he's sleeping, he's clearly having traumatic dreams, awakens paranoid, maybe leading to the next event, just enough to give us a glimpse at his mind. Yeah. We could definitely do that. So maybe, I think he needs to spend a night in the wilderness. Ben camps out for the night. I think he maybe needs a... I don't think we'll do campfire. I think he just needs like a lamp or a torch. Maybe he's got a tent. He's staying in a dusty tent. And then when he comes out, this can be where we have the dream sequence possibly. Dream sequence. He's a close family member or friend in a flashback. Yeah, his noisy sleep might bring danger. So that maybe, so we have to have a think about his trauma as well then. Dream sequence, or we can just see him having a bad sleep. What is his trauma? I'll sort of put these in a, because these aren't quite concrete ideas yet. So let's make them blue or something. And then when he wakes up, in his campsite is the sheriff character. Sorry, let's spell that correctly. This is the sheriff character, whose name is Roberts. Roberts. Roberts can maybe hold him up at gunpoint. Can hold him up at gunpoint, trying to determine if he's a safe, a danger or not. My wife just contacted me. I need to... What does it say?
You okay?
Am I okay? I'm okay. Alright. Cool. Isn't that lovely? I'm gonna voice my message asking if I'm okay. Yep, Ben assures him that he is innocent. Yes. Danger or not. We won't get into the nuts and bolts of the dialogue. I think it'll be good to just keep it simple and straightforward. So we'll just say to communicate, and Roberts passes on some advice for Ben. For Ben, we'll try and use good grammar here. Roberts passes on some advice for Ben, and we then proceed to follow Roberts for the next portion of the film. Now, this is the Ben story. This is the Roberts story. The Hook. Here you go. So this is like when I'm writing, just to get a bit of insight into what's going on for me. When I'm writing, I sort of do this, like not this structured, but I just sort of vomit out ideas in a Word doc or a Google Doc, and then I go back and probably put the vomit on one side, and then start to actually write in a script format the other side of things, the actual script. I think what we'll do is I'll write the Roberts story, and I'll probably end the stream there. Just so we're, being mindful not to go too long. Might finish at 2 o'clock. We'll just go for the 2 hours, and then I'll finish up the writing session. So, if you stuck around and you've enjoyed it, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. I hope also that there's rewatchability for this. I hope that other people might rewatch this and enjoy being a part of the writing process. But anyway, let's go. So Roberts leaves Ben. Yeah, hey, that's a good idea. I like that, because I think Roberts needs a bit of character. Roberts comes across as possibly dangerous and mean, but like Ben thinks he's gonna die. I think that's a really good point. Yeah, Roberts is out for justice. Bad guy did something to his community survivors, stole something important. Yeah, maybe. I actually had something in mind for Roberts. So what I'm thinking is, I'm just gonna get some water. Just give me. I'll be very fast. I just need to get a drink of water to parch my throat. One sec. Didn't even make it back with the water. I sculled that drink. Alright. So, let's have a look. So, Roberts leaves Ben. I think what Roberts does is he comes across the dead group of survivors from the Hook, from these guys, and traverses the outback. I think he needs to do something to, I think he needs to save the cat moment. So I'll just say save the cat moment. If anyone has an idea of what that could be, let me know. Maybe he finds a beggar on the side of the road, like somebody begging for food or water or something, and then he can give him some. I'll just write that, but if you have a better save the cat moment, let me know. Roberts finds a beggar on the side of the road. Oh, an alien, a beggar alien. Great idea. Love my brain. I don't. I need a lot of help. I'm not a very confident writer, so you guys are helping me heaps. But I do like the idea of him finding an alien. What's that? Fuck the cat, save the mouse. Yeah, right. Have you finished writing that book? Is it? Because I would love to read it if you finished, Ben. Let me know if I need to buy it or if it's where I can get it from. Okay, so yeah, I like that he finds an alien, and so we. It shows that while others, are racist towards aliens, or speciesist towards aliens, and others are hateful towards humans, he does show compassion towards both. I think that's a good angle to take. So finds a bigger alien on the side of the road, and what am I even saying? What I'm trying to say is I think it'd be good for our Robert's character. It show that he's a good guy, and show that his purpose is just to bring law and order and fairness and help to everyone, regardless of who they are. So finds a bigger alien on the side of the road and gives them food, water, whatever. He continues on. I think that those two interactions, him with Ben and him with the beggar, could help us get a really good idea about his character and his personality. So that when we and I think it could give us a good idea about his personality, so that when he encounters the group of survivors dead on the ground, we know what he's going to do. He doesn't have to say, I'm going to go and find who did this. He doesn't have to explain himself, because we've already seen him behave, so we can anticipate how he's going to act. So when he starts traveling along the road and he's trying to find clues, we know what he's doing. He continues on and finds the remains of the first group of survivors who have been brutally killed. So while I'm actually writing, I'm also thinking about scheduling, just so you know. So I originally was thinking, maybe the Ben character is played by me, because he's, he's got to be in a shelter or a house. Maybe he's got to be in multiple locations as well. It's easier for me to just race around and do that. But I'm now actually thinking Ben can be someone else. I think the Roberts character needs to be me, and the reason is the Roberts character has a touch point with two groups. He's there when the characters are killed, and he's there with Ben as well. And if I'm filming, then it means I get to be in all those locations, so we don't need to get the group to come back twice just to play dead for the Robert character to be there. And we don't need to find an actor who's prepared to rock up on 3 different days to reprise his role as Roberts. We can do all the Ben stuff on one day, and then I can just jump in as Roberts at the end. We can do all the characters getting killed at the beginning and have Roberts jump in at the end while they're already lying in their dead in the places they died, and Roberts can come across and find them. I think that's a good way to go. Good way to go for casting and scheduling. So it's what you got to do with low budget productions, especially when you're trying to do something bigger than what really you have any right to be doing. With no budget, I have no right to be writing this script. But if I'm clever with my scheduling, I think we can make it work, and I think it'll be good. So, where are we? He continues on, finds remains of the first group of survivors that have been brutally killed. Maybe one of them is barely alive. Do we think that Roberts would put someone out of their misery if they're pretty much certainly dead? Or do you think that he would be, letting them live? Or I think he's a hardened survivalist as well. I think he knows that if someone, not barely alive, one of them is, barely alive, Roberts gives them some gruff comfort before killing them and putting them out of their misery. The survivor of the nearly dead guy gives Robert some vital information for solving this, we'll call it a crime. So I think that way we can have a taste of a slightly different genre here of like a crime mystery type thing. I like that idea. I like that Roberts is maybe putting together some clues. He's trying to figure out where this group went. He's tracking them. He's getting an idea. I don't like the idea of him being familiar with this cult. If they're like, oh, these guys came in with animal masks, he's like, oh, the animal cult. I think it'd be better for it to be new to him as well. That way we learn about this cult through what Robert discovers about them. So Robert solves the crime. So what am I starting to write without even thinking? Bloody hell. Okay, he continues on tracking them through the wilderness. Maybe Roberts finds an old encampment of the cult. Gets in. Yeah, can't count on dreams. It's a hard world, and that acacia medicine might not exist. Can't count on dreams. Yeah, he'll. I reckon Roberts would put the guy out of his misery. Ben would definitely. Ben would nurture that guy back to life, and it would derail his whole mission. I think Ben's a bleeding heart, but I think Roberts is. He knows what's up. So Roberts finds an old encampment of the cult. He gets a greater idea of what they are, quote, up to and their goals. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze. Pardon me. Excusez-moi. Have we had anyone? Yeah, sweet. Alright, let's have a look. And their goals. So Roberts continues tracking them. I don't think Roberts should be very talkative. I think he should just be lots of action, not much talking. So I'm thinking maybe he comes across. Yeah. No, that's a really good point. Symbolism could be fun here. What symbol of death or genocide would the cult use? Okay. Maybe you can find it like carved into trees, or carved into the sand, or made out with rocks. Yeah. Okay. And their goals. Maybe he finds their markings around the place. So he continues tracking them. I want to save the Willie character for later. I like the idea of Willie coming in as like a bit of a wild card. So, or maybe, I think we'll introduce ourselves to Willie. So Roberts comes across Willie, who survived the original attack. He's hiding in some rubble, lost inside himself, shameful, embarrassed, hints of anger. So Roberts speaks with Willie and gives him some hard truths, invites Willie to join him. Willie declines. So I like the idea that we get a glimpse of the Willie character now, and we see that he's got the potential to go on this revenge journey, but he needs more time. Like, it's just happened. He's not angry enough yet. He's thinking about himself. He's not thinking about what they did. So he declines, and then Roberts moves on. And the real irony of this is maybe if Willie had come with Roberts, Roberts wouldn't die in the next scene. Because I think Roberts is a goner soon. I like the idea that he comes across the cult, I think, at some point or another. Or, hey, what about this guy? Forgot about that guy. Pure survivalists who will do anything to survive. Humans don't deserve to exist. Now, I think the real question about this character is, should he be an alien or should he be a human? I think maybe he should be a self-hating human. And then that can play off the ideas that we have about Willie's character, where Willie is a self-hating human as well, but they do different things about it. One of the self-hating humans kills all other humans. The other self-hating human is less self-destructive. Like, I think Willie should be less self-destructive. Willie should be... he should have a good ending. Like, he needs to get his justice. Roberts moves on and encounters our... he's not really a survivalist. He's like a... I think the... I'm now just thinking, should the cult have the ideological perspective that humans don't deserve to exist? Or should it be this one soul guy that feels like that? That's a good question. Yeah, leads a gang of aliens, that's a possibility. Okay. If he's a part of the cult then, tentatively speaking, let's say he's a part of the cult, let's have the comic relief, like the wildcard character. Because we need to introduce a bit of that nuclear fallout crazy into the story. So Roberts moves on and encounters our wildcard character. Whatever his name is. We'll just say the cat. The Cheshire Cat. We'll just call him the cat. So I think Roberts encounters the cat. And we've now seen Roberts. It's been like the rinse repeat for him. He's come across Ben. He's come across the surviving, like the dying group. He's come across the beggar. He's come across Willie. And now he comes across a fifth person. This cat character is this unpredictable weirdo. And I think the chaoticness of this character needs to get the better of him, because Roberts is like almost neurodivergent in his, like, he's got a system, he's got a routine, he's got his rules, he follows them, he survives, but his rules don't account for crazy. So I think he needs to come across this crazy character, and it goes really badly for him. So let's go with that. So he moves on and encounters the cat. The interaction leads to some comic relief and some concern. Roberts engages in the same way he does with everyone else. Oh, okay, hold on. Maybe Roberts... Okay, hold on. Maybe Roberts has a series of questions that he asks people, like an interview when he meets them, and then when it gets to this guy, oh yeah, Roberts is a dead man. Roberts is a goner. But I think in all the other interactions with the beggar, with everyone, Roberts needs to have some insightful questions, or like, who are you? What do you want? But more interesting than that. But maybe even like a philosophical question or a riddle. He needs to ask everyone the same thing. What is his question? I think we need to know what his question is. And he asks everyone this question. Okay. The cat ducks and weaves his question. No, I think it needs to be... Okay. Ideological riddles. I'm just doing a Google search for ideological riddles. Or ethical riddles. Moral dilemmas that'll break your brain. Let's see what they have to say. Oh, this is BuzzFeed. Nope, I'm out of here. I'll go on Reddit. What's the most interesting ethical dilemma you can think of from 10 years ago? No, we'll leave it at that. I won't get too sidetracked with what specifically he asks. I'll come up with it later. What does Rick Grimes ask? Rick Grimes questions for survivors. In the series, he asks. Yeah, so this is a good example. So in The Walking Dead, Rick Grimes asks, "How many walkers have you killed? How many people have you killed, and why?" I think something like that is that's a really well written, good series of questions. It's 3 questions for everyone. That'll get to the root of anyone in the zombie apocalypse. Like, why are they killing? Why have they killed people? Why have they killed walkers? And then because Rick Grimes lives long enough, he, I suppose, stops asking the question. But he should really reflect on it himself. You know, with where his character goes. Why does he kill so many people? Is it worth it? So I'm going to leave that there. Something like that is what I'm thinking he asks. The cat ducks and weaves his question. Cat doesn't want to answer it, or maybe he has an unexpected answer, and Robert doesn't know how to respond. I like the idea of the cat. Oh no, I like the idea of the cat stabbing him in the back. But I don't quite know how they would do that. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know how Roberts will die, but the cat kills him. If you guys think of anything, let me know, or shoot me a message or comment. But the cat definitely kills Roberts, and then we follow the cat. Yeah, I think the cat should be saying super crazy stuff. Tells him a horrible pun. Yeah. I think the cat should be very unpredictable and funny. Yeah, please do, Ben. Thank you. Message me that riddle. I think the cat maybe has its own riddle, or ask him a riddle back. So I think we demonstrate through this interaction with Robert that the cat is dangerous. The cat is funny. The cat, yeah. So now we're following an antagonist. Whoa! So I don't know where that's going to go. I think maybe... maybe the cat is a alien. But I would love the cat. So what I'm thinking is... if the cat is an alien, is the audience going to assume that all aliens are silly? I don't really want the first real character we come across to be the first real alien character we come across to be the cat. I feel like that could be counterproductive in terms of understanding. But what I was thinking, if the cat was an alien, he could come across the cult, and the cult let him live because he's an alien, and they go, we're only killing humans. Well, they won't say it, but we can sort of deduce, oh, hey, they're cool with aliens, but any humans they come across are, like, dead. So that could be a way to go. Maybe the way that... maybe the cat... maybe the cat could kill the cult. We could have the cat come across the cult and kill them all in a goofy, funny way. Or he sets up traps for them, or he comes in at night and kills them all. And then Willy can come across the remains of that group and recognize them as the cult that killed all of his friends, and Willy can get his vengeance if there's someone who survived. Maybe someone survived and limped off injured. Willy can go and get vengeance in that one small way. And we can have a bit of a hopeful ending for him. The one thing we've not incorporated... yeah, that's a good point. Maybe that we get a better look at aliens before. Yeah. I think we're doing really well so far. We've got two really good characters that we're exploring. I think I enjoy the fact that Roberts will die in this before he achieves his goal, because it gives someone else an opportunity to pick up the baton and carry it forward. And I think that naturally is going to be Willy. I think Willy will finish solve the crime. Then we just have this cat. So we'll figure out how to deal with the cat. We'll figure out what to do. I'll run all this by my writing partners as well, and get their input and feedback and how they think we can, work with it. And yeah, so I think we'll call it a wrap there. Because we've now finished 2 plot lines. We've got a bunch of characters. We know the plot. We've come a long way from a blank screen. We've written... how many words have we written? Tools, word count. Nearly 1,000 words. We've done well. We've got 3 pages of notes. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who was a part of this, who helped, who joined in on the live stream. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being a part of this. I appreciate you taking your time to participate in this little writing room. This is what I do with my friends. This is what we last year every Thursday I was catching up with my buddies, Anton, Adrian, and Joel, and others like Ananthu and other filmmakers who've been working with us on Late Night 99 films, and we've been writing together like this, just throwing ideas out there, and then when it gets to the scripting phase, often what I'll do is I'll put the treatment onto a script, because essentially what we've been working on has been a treatment. So I'll put the treatment onto a script, and then we come back together and as a group go through the script and edit the dialogue, because I'm not very strong with writing dialogue, so that's a big area of growth for me that I got to work on. But yeah, so what I'll probably do is I'll continue doing the treatment for this. I don't think I'll do a part 2 stream, but next time I'm writing, and you know, if you guys have enjoyed it, then I'm sure other people might too. I could do more writing streams in the future, so stay tuned. Yeah, I think I've got a lot to work on here, so thank you very much. While I'm still here, and you guys are still around, I've got a Patreon that some people are following. There's some really cool. Yeah, they're actually my birds. Good night, Ben. Have a good sleep. I've got 3 aviaries at the back, so they're my. I've got finches, quails, budgies, and cockatiels, and ringnecks, and Burke parrots, and guinea pigs, and all sorts of things. But yeah, I've got a Patreon. We're doing a draw for the middle of this year, where we'll be sending off some of the props from Over the Next Horizon to celebrate the 2nd anniversary of Over the Next Horizon. So I'll be sending those off to a lucky Patreon member at random. So what I'm going to do is I'll just draw out of a hat one of the names of the people who are subscribed to Patreon, and I'm going to ship you a prop. So if you'd like to be a part of that for the middle of the year, subscribe to Patreon, join in. You can subscribe for free. Some stuff goes up there that's available to everyone. So do check it out if you want to support us. If you want to, like this film that we're writing now, if you want to see it have a bigger budget, Patreon's going to be the best way to do that. It's a fun little community there. I'm trying to build more community with the Patreon community, so if you want to join and have a yarn with some people there, that'd be cool too. So we'll call it a day for this stream, I think. Thank you very much. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for participating. You guys are the best. I'll catch you later. Bye.